We're live.
Welcome back, baby, to the Gamer Time
Sure.
Podcast. I am your host, Big Al Mocious, and you all know Matthew Kelly, my podcast partner. How you doing, Matty?
What's up, brother? Doing good, man. How you doing?
Good, good. Staying in, making chili, good to go.
Making chili. All right. Let me just say real quick, I want to apologize for any network issues that we may have with the visuals. It's a bit choppy, but we're getting through it, and the audio seems to be working good. So we'll try and get through this one with good audio. So we'll see. All right, man. Take it away.
Sounds good, Matt. Matt, as you know, Thursday through Saturday was one of the biggest events of the year for the NFL draft. And, I'm sure we all were tuning in each day and seeing what route we're going to go. So, Matt, I'm going to start you out since you did watch it. What team do you think had the best draft? Even though I think everybody's building on their teams, who do you think had the best draft?
Well, that's actually a pretty tough one. I hear that the Dolphins had a good early draft. Their first round was pretty good. The Panthers actually drafted all defense. All of their picks were defense only. So that was interesting. Along with one being the great Yetur Gross-Matos from Penn State. My Denver Broncos had a pretty good draft. They bolstered their offense pretty good. A couple of teams had filled needs and had a decent draft. So I'm actually going to go with the Dolphins. I felt like they finally made some good choices with the draft. So.
Okay, I can't argue that. They have there's a lot of, they added both offense and defense, and even though I'm gonna say, Matt, even though they just all did defense, I gotta give it to the Carolina Panthers. They already got the weapons on offense, and they just full out built that defense up with Matos and some other great talent. So I can't argue for what they did, and I think they came out victorious here.
Definitely, yeah. It's a very interesting way to go. I mean, I'm not sure if that's when the last time that has happened, if it's happened before or not. But yeah, all defense for at least, was it 7 picks? Did they have 7? I'm not sure how many it was, but I just heard that it was all defense. So it was interesting, yeah.
Okay. You mentioned about your Denver Broncos being getting those getting a lot of new upgrades in the offense. Matt, how dangerous can this offense be with Hamler and Judy going up against that Chiefs offense that everyone talks about? How dangerous can you guys be, you think?
Well, there were a couple of things that has happened as far as the Denver Broncos offseason. They got a new offensive coordinator in Shermer. They signed Melvin Gordon away from the Chargers. Alongside Philip Lindsay, that running back core is going to be very good, and Royce Freeman is still there as well. To go along with Courtland Sutton, they drafted Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler, and also still in the receiving court is a fellow Penn Stater with Deshaun Hamilton. You've got the tight end that they drafted last year who showed a great rookie year. And
Noah
Fant, yep. They even got more offensive line help. They signed an offensive lineman in the free agency period, and they drafted one in the later rounds. So this is, they definitely wanted to fix that offense. As far as the Kansas City Chiefs go, it's still a tall task. I mean, I'm not gonna say we're gonna hang in with them, but it's a good sign and it's a good start to try and develop something that can hang with the Kansas City Chiefs. The thing about the Kansas City Chiefs is that Pat Mahomes is still 24, 25 years old. So it's going to be a long road of trying to keep up with him. So Melvin Gordon, Phillip Lindsay, Cortland Sutton, Deshaun Hamilton, KJ Hamler, Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant, all those guys under the age of 24, 25. So this is going to be alongside with our hopeful franchise quarterback, Drew Lock. It's going to be an interesting year. I can't wait, dude.
Good. And speaking of dangerous, I got offensively, I got to give it to my Cowboys.
Okay. All right.
They only made two offensive picks, but their first one was CeeDee Lamb from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that was a great pickup because, with losing Randall Cobb, he was kind of our slot guy, and I think CeeDee Lamb is more versatile than Cobb. So adding him with Cooper and Gallup and Elliott, it's going to be fun to watch. And I know the Eagles are getting better. They brought a lot of speed guys in, so they're going to have give Carson some players to throw to, and Marquise Goodwin from the Niners just went there, so that's another upgrade for them. It's going to be another fun NFC East. So Matt, I noticed a couple teams with like the Raiders and the Eagles and a few other teams, like I think like the Raiders picked 3 out of their first 4 rounds were wide receiver. Like, do you think it's good to add that many receivers, or do you like to add depth on their chart? Because I think they have like 11 receivers now, and it's like, well, how many are they going to keep? So my question is, do you think it's better to have more depth at that position, or if I'm an owner drafting, I'll get a couple and then try to get some more team needs?
I think that as far as the receiving core being an importance, I think that you do need that first round talent. So I think that it is when that receiver is available in the draft and you have the option of taking a franchise receiver, then you do it with the first round. But you don't take, in my opinion, if the talent isn't there, if you don't think that you can get a star wide receiver with your pick, then I wouldn't settle. You know what I mean? I would feel a need for a different position rather than taking a mediocre receiver in the first round. I think that the only reason you take a wide receiver in the first round is if that talent is astronomical. And I think both the Broncos and the Cowboys did that. I think that we both got CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy. Probably they weren't the first two. Either of them weren't the first receiver taken. Henry Ruggs was, but that was I felt that CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy were the 2 best receivers in the draft. So I think that the Cowboys made the right choice. But as far as depth goes, I think that you shouldn't really do, I don't know, like your first 3 picks on receivers. I think you take, like I said, you take that big time receiver first, but then you go with other positions after that. So I think that would be very interesting to kind of do, let's say, a receiver or 2 in round 1 and round 2, and then you mix in some veterans in free agency or, some practice guys and see if you can find talent there. So that's just my opinion. And I think that, if you can find 3 great receivers round after round after round, then, hey, you're lucky. You're a lucky team. So, yeah, that's just my opinion.
Okay, and especially this year, since the wide receiver depth of the draft there was a lot of good ones out there, so you can get a good one at any point of the round.
Right.
And I so sticking with what we were saying about our teams, I said I said the Cowboys drafted 2 offensive players. They got CeeDee Lamb in the first round, and then their final pick, a little shocker to me, was a quarterback out of James Madison. I forget his name, to be honest with you, because I never heard of the guy.
Yeah,
But
yeah. There were a lot of there.
I was hoping to get Anthony Gordon out of Washington State because he's, he broke Minshew's all of his records, and he had a 9-touchdown game last year. But so I thought he didn't get drafted, but he got signed after the draft to basically his hometown, and he went to the Seahawks.
Okay.
So anything happens to Russell Wilson, I think they have a pretty good selection there.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting. I mean, he was definitely a gunslinger,
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, like I said, Cowboys taking the quarterback. We'll see how he develops behind Dak, and they'll see what happens there. I hope he does well. I'm rooting for him. But speaking of quarterbacks, I think we took the Eagles route, and they drafted Jalen Hurts, 2nd round.
Yeah.
Quarterback, Oklahoma. Now, Matt, I know a lot of Eagles fans are up in airs about this one. So, just what's your opinion? Why did the Eagles take Jalen Hurts when they have Carson Wentz?
Well, I was sitting there on my couch watching when this happened, and my first reaction was to text our good friend Tyler. And I texted him, and I said, "Whoa, what the hell?" I think that it was look, my first thought that went through my head was, why are they doing that? What's going on with Carson Wentz? But the more I thought about it, is like the opinion from what I'm hearing of the organization, the Eagles, was that they were looking at him as a Taysom Hill type of quarterback or position player or whatever. What I told Tyler was that I don't think Taysom Hill is a decent player. I get it. But that is a really high spot to be using that pick, that player. The 2nd round is too high of a pick to be going after a Taysom Hill type of player. Taysom Hill himself was undrafted. Okay. He's exceeded exceeded that and went, much better player than an undrafted player normally is. But I just don't think that is. You should have gone to a different. You should have gone to a different position with the 2nd round pick, in my opinion. I just don't think that he is a player, or he is the type of player that you take that high. So, but they did, and we'll see how it pans out.
Okay. I mean, I think that at first I was kind of like you, like, wow, like what just happened, and the more I think about it, I feel like it's, they're gonna I feel like they might use him in different packages, and kind of mix Carson in with Jalen, and especially if something does happen to Carson with his health history. But like, maybe spread him out wide, like Taysom Hill does. Just some type of package. I feel like they have a plan for him in this offense, but we'll see. There wasn't a whole lot of big name running backs that I saw in the draft. A few that I know of. So Matt, and I know you heard of these guys, Swift and Taylor. Between the two, Matt, Swift going to the Lions and Taylor going to the Colts, who's going to have a better rookie season?
Hold on. I'm actually going to jot that down. Anyways, so Swift is more of the kind of like a speedier guy. He's a little bit shorter and a little bit smaller, where Taylor is more of an all-around. And Taylor, I loved watching him at Wisconsin. He was a great running back. But I think if I had to put a guess, I think that Swift is going to probably get more touches. I think that the Colts have a decent running back, so Taylor is going to, kind of do split back kind of thing. And Swift, I think, is going to see the ball a little bit more for the Lions. So I think that he is probably going to have a better start, at least. Yeah.
Okay. And just basing off of, watching a lot of Big Ten, I'm not gonna completely argue with you on that pick, but I'll give it to Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
I know they got Marlon Mack, and
Yeah, that's the guy I was thinking of.
I just I understand he would be splitting, but I think Swift would also split with Kerryon Johnson, and just Taylor, as you said, like he's the more all around back. So I think he might have some. I think he will have more yards than Swift, but we'll see. Should be should be fun.
Yeah, man.
And some of the bigger names that you guys know of, like obviously Joe Burrow went number 1 to the Bengals. Chase Young went number 2 to the Redskins, boosting that defense. I think every team did pretty well. There's some surprises on, with obviously the Eagles taking Jalen, and even some people say even Jordan Love to the Packers. But what's your plan after Aaron Rodgers? So I think that is somewhat of a smart move for them.
How do you feel about Chase Young? Are you worried about that? Him coming after Dak?
I am. I kind of knew that they were gonna take him, and I'm just like, Carson, Dak, and Daniel Jones better look out.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah.
That's why we needed to get better on defense, and so we can get to those quarterbacks too, and just compete with them. So, Matt, since the draft is over, and we look forward to a couple preseason games in a couple months here, it's a tough question, but what division do you think will be the best one to watch?
Ooh. Oh man. Well, I can tell you right now that the biggest, the most, what's that called? Primetime games. It's probably going to be the NFC South. Every time the Saints and the Bucks play, Brady versus Breeze, that's going to be huge. The NFC East is going to be interesting. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to go with the NFC South. To be honest with you, I think that's going to be a very interesting division with the Panthers bolstering up the defense and the Bucks with Gronk now. Gronk signing with Tampa Bay, trading from New England to Tampa Bay to stay with Tom Brady. And of course the Saints, they're still going to be pretty good. So I think that those games with Tampa Bay and New Orleans, it's going to be really, really interesting.
Okay, I can't argue that, Matt. I'm drawing a blank here. What is your division? AFC what?
The AFC West, yeah.
The West. Okay, the West. So, other than, I mean, I know that, like I said, I believe every team got better through the draft, and the Chargers are a iffy team because I don't know what their QB situation is going to be like, other than well, they got the guy from Oregon, but will he step in and be that great guy, or what's going to happen there? And they do have some nice pieces on their offense, and they just bolstered that defense. So with them and the Kansas City Chiefs the way they are, and the Las Vegas
Yeah.
Raiders now. With Chucky being there, drafting Ruggs, and just your explosive offense in Denver. I gotta go with the AFC West. I'm really looking forward to your division and who's gonna compete.
Nice. All right, man. Do you got anything else?
I think I'm okay.
All righty. The only reason I asked, we're coming up on a little bit of a minute restriction here, so I I think we'll end it there. There's still a few topics that we could come back with next week or whatever, but the football season is going to roll on. We still have a few months until everything starts to come back, I think. Hopefully there's the other topics I would like to discuss going forward is some of the more when will sports come back kind of stuff. So as far as this draft pod, I think we'll wrap it up with there. It's always interesting seeing the new players and stuff like that. So I can't wait until the rookies get into camp, and our offenses are going to be amazing this fall, dude. It's going to be so much fun to watch. So yeah. So all right, we'll wrap it up there. Everybody watching on YouTube, Gamertime shows on YouTube. Any topic ideas or questions, gamertimeshows@gmail.com. Let's see what else. Twitter is at Gamertime Shows, I believe. So yeah, Big Al, I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Just real quick, Matt, if I get the chance to this year, Bengals at Ravens, Joe Burrow versus Lamar Jackson, I might have to be there for that one.
Ooh, it's gonna happen. Division game. They're gonna play that game twice or once a year in Baltimore, at least every year. So it'll be interesting.
Definitely.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Thanks, Matt. It's been great, and stay safe over there.
Yeah, man. Will do. All right, everybody. Peace.
Bye, guys.